from Learfield, this is the Buckeye Roundtable Show presented by Burger King and brought to you statewide by the American Dairy Association Mideast and Cova Insurance, Window Nation, and by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers on the Ohio State Sports Network presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics. Now, along with former OSU All-American Jim Lachey and the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels, here's your host, Skip Mossick.
And hi again, everybody. Welcome into another Buckeye Roundtable show. Ohio State improves to 3-0 as they defeat Ohio 37-9. Buckeyes are idle this week before opening Big Ten play at Washington next Saturday. 2 full hours of Buckeye and college football talk coming your way with former OSU All-American, NFL All-Pro Jim Lachey.
All right, Skip, back for another Monday Roundtable.
Let us do it. Hall of Fame broadcaster, longtime voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels.
Like Freddie Washington used to say, hi there.
Hi there. Coach Ryan Day will join us later this hour. Ohio State gets the win on Saturday. Coaches always want to have things to work and focus on, though, Jim, during a bye week. Besides the victory, what's the biggest positive to take away from Saturday, and what might be the focal point to improve on as they get ready for conference play?
Well, I think the defense is very positive. Again, they gave up 113 yards passing, and 67 of it came on one play, so 46 on the other. I think they had 21 attempts, on the other 20. So very good there. Arvell Reese, playing linebacker, was all over the field making plays. Caden McDonald looked dominating inside at defensive tackle. The kind of a negative is we got Lorenzo Stiles Jr., got banged up in that game. So when he got hurt, Devin Sanchez came in and played, got some time at corner, and then they moved Jermaine Matthews back to be, kind of the nickelback type guy. Offensively, obviously the red zone issues, settling for field goals. And again, we didn't attempt a field goal, so that's good practice, to have. Jaden Fielding get 3 field goals, put them through the uprights. But when you're kicking them from 22-yard line or 22-yard field goal and a 20 field goal, those are short ones, and you got to find a way to turn those into touchdowns. And then in the second half, when it was 16-9, everybody's kind of looking around like, okay, this could be a close one. We had the 3 touchdowns drives and made some big plays in the passing game, and then Jeremiah on the reverse.
Same thing, Paul. Biggest plus, biggest thing to work on.
Probably the fact that they did explode with the offense in the second half, 24 unanswered. And the red zone is obviously going to be the concern. And I think, Skip, the other thing is that drive where they were stopped on 4th and goal, if that's against Penn State or if that's against Illinois, do they go ahead and kick the field goal or do they try it? So, kind of a whole different dimension with that game.
Speaking of red zone, 5 of 6 in the red zone, but only 2 touchdowns. Play calling, execution, or Ohio State's defense. I guess, which was the biggest cause for Ohio State not being able to capitalize on the most of their scoring opportunities?
Probably a combination of execution and play calling, because the coaches like to take it on themselves and probably would say, maybe we should have called something different. But, you get down that close, it's got to be execution, being able to push it in.
I think that's when the offensive line has to say, hey, run it my way. I want to do it. I mean, I can knock my guy off the line of scrimmage or into the end zone, and we can run my way. And that's when you have to be really confident as an offensive line. And when you're good, is when you're just looking at the coach like, hey, bring it on. We're going to take it in right over here. And that's what, they have to get that confidence with that offensive line that they can run it. Because that eliminates all your red zone issues when you have the ability to run the ball in from, inside the 10-yard line.
Offense overall was cooking, though. Boy, 572. Did have a couple of turnovers, was stopped on 4th down, but no punts on the evening. I guess the biggest positive you saw from the offense.
Well, the fact that once things weren't going well, they were able to kick it in gear and get it going. We saw a couple of nice touchdown passes. The thing we've become accustomed to it with Jeremiah Smith making those incredible grabs, but Carnell Tate showing he can make the tough ones too. And again, continuing to involve the tight end in what's going on.
I think Carnell Tate is, he would be the number 1 receiver on, 129 other teams besides Ohio State with Jeremiah Smith. He's a big-time player. It's 3 straight games that he's got in the end zone, has caught passes. I think our passing game is there. I mean, we had a couple of interceptions there and turned it over on downs offensively, but you got that, and then the emergence of Bo Jackson, seeing him kind of step up, and maybe he's going to be the back that's going to get a majority of the carries once we get into this Big Ten season in 2 weeks. Tonight's
broadcast, as well as all of our Buckeye Roundtables throughout the season, are available on our flagship station's YouTube page. Simply search WBNS Radio on YouTube. You can watch it live or later if you miss any part of it. You can also download the Buckeye Roundtable podcast wherever you find your favorite podcasts, and be sure to subscribe to both. Fans, you can win a catered party for up to 20 people at your home for an away game this season, plus a behind-the-scenes tour of Ohio Stadium for 10. The Giant Eagle Tailgates and Tour Sweepstakes is presented by Pop-Tarts, Rice Krispie Treats, and Coca-Cola. Register today at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/tailgates for your chance to win. Ohio State is idle this week. They'll be at Washington next Saturday. We'll be on the air with the AEP Energy Buckeye pregame show beginning at 2 p.m. Up next, our 60-second timeout as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
More of Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Ohio State fans! Next time that snack craving hits, Burger King has you covered with the O-Fry-O bundle. You get a medium fry, 8-piece chicken fries, 8-piece mozzarella fries, and an 8-piece chicken nuggets, all for just $10. It's perfect snack fuel for one, wherever and whenever you're cheering on the Scarlet and Gray. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Tax extra.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
When you're here, you understand what it means to be a Buckeye. And at Elk & Elk, we're proud to wear scarlet and gray every Saturday. Every client, every day, means if you're ever injured, we're proud to stand with you in court. And when you're here at the shoe, we're proud to stand with you and cheer on the Buckeyes.
Whether we're here at the big game or in court, we are committed to you.
Elk & Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
For over 37 years, Buckeye Nation has known Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse for serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks are a staple in Columbus, with 3 locations in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. And just like the Buckeyes, we strive for excellence and an experience like no other. Hyde Park is proud to introduce the newly added wine room at our downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining surrounds you, creating the ideal setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everyone, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show, presented by Burger King, where you rule, with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels. I'm Skip Mossick. Buckeyes are known for paying it forward. That's why Buckeyes Care strives to serve the betterment of our community by positively impacting families across Ohio. Join partners American Electric Power, Donato's, Kroger, the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the James Cancer Hospital, Huntington Bank, and WBNS TV in Columbus in supporting this cause at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/Buckeyes Care.
Buckeye Roundtable, 60-second timeout.
Let's start defense. Buckeye defense only allowed 181 by Ohio. 67, as Jim mentioned earlier, came on one play, long touchdown to start the second half. But overall, what impressed you the most about Ohio State on that side of the football, Paul?
Well, the fact that they were able to get some pressure and get some plays behind the line with some sacks, something they hadn't done. Now the concern was mobile quarterbacks, and that would have been the case too with Parker Navarro. But the fact that they were able to create that kind of pressure that we hadn't really seen in the first two games.
Yep.
I think the pass defense has been fabulous all year long, and I think it was good again. And, the defensive line came up with 4 sacks. I thought our defensive backs did a really good job on Chase Hendricks. He came in 2 games with 17 catches, ended up getting targeted 5 times, had 3 catches in our ball game. So I thought that, besides that 67-yarder that he had, and that was good. It was good credit to him. He's a good football player. But they knew that they had to shut him down, and they were able to do that. So I think our pass defense for Ohio State has been really good, and it'll certainly get tested as this year goes on.
You mentioned target. Why is it every big hit on defense now is looked at for targeting? Seriously.
Yeah.
To me, that wasn't even close.
No, agreed. Not even close at all.
It looked like Jalen got his chest, didn't it?
Yeah, chest or shoulder area or something. But, Skip, you don't know if it's because of how violent a hit it was, but there was
football,
nothing.
Paul.
Football, agreed. 100%. I agree. Why? Don't have an answer for your question, Skip.
And not to take away from the Buckeye defense, but how much did Ohio miss by not having Parker Navarro in there while he was being checked out?
Certainly a lot, because you could see that when Nick Paulus was in there wasn't the same kind of sizzle. There wasn't the same kind of threat that Parker Navarro brings, either throwing or running the football. And him running is what really can make him so dangerous.
Yeah, and I think he's dangerous against a lot of MAC teams, but when you got linebackers as fast as Ohio State has with Sonny and Arvell, they did a great job of spying on him. You saw Arvell chase him down and make a play on him and, kind of tip the pass there. He's not used to having guys that fast that can chase him out of that pocket or keep him contained in that
fast
pocket.
and that big.
Right, and I think they did a good job keeping him on their inside arm. So, the only place he had to go was some more silver helmets coming. They didn't let him get outside, but he's a great, a really good MAC football player. And one of the reasons why they won the MAC championship last year. I'm sure he'll do well. We were kind of surprised they brought him back in, right? Because you got the whole MAC schedule ahead of you, and he had that wrist looked like he was taped up, and they did put like his sweatband with the card in it with all the plays in it. So, but it looked like, that was a part of an injury, but he wanted to come in and play. I give him credit for that.
All right, next, Ohio State's running game. Buckeyes rushed for 225 yards. Bo Jackson, again, the leading rusher with 109. Peoples, a nice 6.7. Average, Donaldson, 4.3. Coach Cooper has always said you want a pair and a spare with running backs. Has any of them separated themselves from the others after just 3 games?
Well, it'd be easy to think, and the key word being think, that maybe Bo Jackson has. But we've seen how Donaldson can be, especially in short yardage situations. There's still a lot of reason to think that James Peoples can be a big part of this. But Bo Jackson is kind of the flavor of the week right now.
He had 9 carries. I think he was tied with the lead for most carries with C.J. Donaldson. And, that's back-to-back 100-yard games for a freshman. That didn't happen very often around here. He's got 18 carries now in 2 games for 217 yards. I mean, you can do the math. That's 10-plus yards per carry. That's going to get you some first downs and beyond. And I think you could see it when he hit that 64-yarder against Ohio, when he hit the 51-yarder against Grambling. He's got some bursts. He's got some bursts through the hole, and then he does a good job of running away from the safeties and cornerbacks when he gets in that secondary. So, to me, I'd like to see him get some more opportunities to get him ready to go. So he's really good when he gets October, end of October into November.
You kind of alluded to this last segment, Jim. We talked red zone. It was 1st and goal at the 3. Wound up throwing the ball twice there. As an O-lineman, run the ball? Does he just want to run the football? Or every play is designed to score. I get that. So my question is execution or just kind of, I don't know.
Well, I think against Ohio that we should have had the ability to run the ball. Maybe some other teams that we play down the road, there'll be some passing opportunities there. But I think that, with the tight end package we've had, we've shown that in the past with 3 tight ends, 4 tight ends with Nate Roberts playing the fullback position, that we have the ability to take it in. Now, we had some penalties there and we got to move back. So, those things kind of change what they wanted to do. But that's my personality, and I think the personality of a lot of guys, on the offensive line. Hey, put it in our hands. We would have run, and that has to be the coaches. The Tyler Bowen and certainly Brian Hartline have to be on the same page. And we know Coach Day has oversight on all that. But That's just my philosophy. But you got 3 great receivers and a good passing tight end. We saw Max Clare get his TD there. So I don't disagree with the calls. Right. But when they don't work, then we can't disagree and talk about it.
And give Ohio's defense props to Paul.
Credit.
And especially their back end. They had some defensive backs that really made some good plays out there.
All right, next quarterback play. Julian Sayin, 25 of 32, 347 through the air, 3 touchdowns, but the 2 picks. What you like the most about Sayin, and what's the biggest thing to work on from the quarterback position?
He still just looks so darn comfortable out there. He looks like he's played more than he really has. Obviously, the deep balls look good. Helps when you've got receivers that go get it like that. The one interception was a ball that was tipped in the air. But, certainly he's a young man that's going to learn from those situations. And we've heard some of the other players in some of the interviews talk about how he's really grown as a confident leader on the field. So just his comfort level is what kind of jumps off at you.
Accuracy jumps off the page. He's got now, 10 quarters of football, 4 against Texas, 2 against Grambling, and now 4 against Ohio. And what stands out to me is seeing how accurate he is throwing, especially with that deep ball. Now, he did miss, I think it was Kazmarek, I think, a tight end that was wide open, overthrew him. That's something I'll have to study and look at a little bit closer. But there's not many of those. I mean, he's completing, came in averaging 216 yards per game. Had 347 in that game throwing the football. You'll take that. That's winning offense there.
And you keep your guys happy, too, with both Smith and Tate going over 100, both getting in the end zone, too. So that helps a lot. All right, last thing. Rates the opponents. Ohio is the defending MAC champions. What did they show you?
The ability to play like they did last year. I think, we didn't see Parker Navarro show all of the things that his stats from last year told you. But Chase Hendricks looks like a good-looking wide receiver. They were playing minus one of their other wide receivers. And, again, those guys on the back end, that Adonis Williams is an outstanding defensive back. So they look like they could be a team that very possibly could win the MAC again.
I think they're well coached. Yeah. John Hauser, their defensive coordinator out of Skips High School, Hartley. I thought he did a heck of a job having his team prepared and, kind of keeping everything in front of him now that we did get 2 big plays back there. And then Scott Isverding, the offensive coordinator, I thought had a pretty good game plan. Trying to attack Ohio State. It's just that, Ohio State had some fast linebackers and a, penetrating defensive line that kind of made it hard on them. But Brian Smith, I think they're a well-coached team, and, certainly I'm going to be watching them and rooting for them throughout the MAC play.
All right, guys, good job that segment. Coming up next, we will break down this past weekend. A couple of conference games to talk about. Our Big Ten breakdown is next as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Ready? It doesn't matter if you're playing hard or working hard. Your workout only works out if you recover right. Chocolate milk helps you recover for what comes next. It's delicious and contains the right mix of protein and carbs to help refuel exhausted muscles. From biking to bench presses, Milk's protein helps you build lean muscle and gain more from your workouts.
Ready? Recover. Repeat. Brought to you by the American Dairy Association Mideast, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
True North convenience stores are your coffee and fountain champions. Fuel up your game day with True Rewards. Buy 6 True Brew coffees or True Oasis fountain drinks and get your 7th free. Whether you're heading to a game or watching from home, grab a True Brew coffee or an ice-cold True Oasis fountain drink to keep you going all 4 quarters. Find True Rewards in your app store or visit TrueNorthStores.com to get started. True North convenience stores. Fast, friendly, clean. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Buckeye fans, this is for you. Level up with the brand new AAA Buckeyes MVP membership. You'll receive all the benefits of AAA, such as 24/7 roadside assistance, plus chances to win tickets to Ohio State sporting events, access to exclusive MVP experiences, along with 10% off select gear at the Ohio State Team Shop. Already a AAA member? Add the Buckeyes MVP membership for free. Head to AAA.com/Buckeyes to upgrade or join the squad and put your fandom in drive.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix, guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. And you never compromise your appetite with our golden brown bread that's baked fresh in store. And you never compromise your wallet with our lower prices. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everyone, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule. With Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, I'm Skip Mossick. Coach Cooper will be back with us coming up next week. Buckeye fans, power up and carbon down with AEP Energy and Eco Advantage, their 100% renewable energy plan for your home or business. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
It's time for the Buckeye Roundtable Big Ten Breakdown.
And Mendoza, the quarterback, takes the snap, looks over the middle, fires the football, caught, touchdown Indiana, Omar Cooper, his second of the night. And Indiana is still in the first quarter. It is now 20-0. Hoosiers over Indiana State.
Don Fisher on Learfield. Indiana blows out Indiana State 73-0. Are the Hoosiers any good? Can we tell you?
We'll find out after this weekend when they play Illinois. But Omar Cooper, 4 touchdown catches. You know, you think Surratt is their big threat, but Omar Cooper is showing up big. And they still have enough pieces left from last year, even though they lost some significant ones. Their biggest loss was at quarterback. But Mendoza and his brother, the other Mendoza, came in and both played well at quarterback.
Fernando and Alberto Mendoza have stepped up. You're right, Omar Cooper, 10 catches in that game. But the FCS schedule is over. No more Indiana States, no more Kennesaw States. It's time for Illinois, and that's going to be a good one. And got to think Illinois would be favored if that's away.
To State College, where second-ranked Penn State hosted Villanova.
Motion by Pena away from us, now comes back this way. Haller, Singleton up the middle, touchdown Penn State. A 12-play, 78-yard drive, and the Nittany Lions open the game looking very, very sharp.
Steve Jones, Penn State Network Lions, almost another shutout. They beat Villanova 52-6.
Yeah, we know they're solid on defense. And offensively, while everybody's waiting to see if they can continue to make explosive plays downfield, Nick Singleton and Katron Allen, boy, they can help make a quarterback operate pretty easily.
Yeah, they did that for him last year, and that's been the case again. You know, and again, haven't played much. Villanova, nothing against them, but they're going to go back to the Coastal Athletic Association and play. And their big thing is they just don't want to get anybody hurt. Right. So we can, kind of like Ohio, you don't want to get anybody hurt when you get into your MAC. But, again, you'll find out in 2 weeks when they play Oregon. Right. That's going to be the big test to find out how they match up. And I mean, that's going to be for, I got to think Oregon, the way they're playing, that'll be, who knows who's going to win that, but it's going to be awful close.
I said almost got the shutout. Nova scored on the very last play of the game.
6 points.
Did they really?
Didn't even attempt the point after. They just scored at the end. Speaking of Oregon, to Evanston, where Oregon was at Northwestern.
Dante Moore with a couple of backs beside him in the backfield. Davidson, one of those. Hill Jr., the other one. And Hill gets the ball. No, yes, he does. Hill going right behind a block. Cuts it up. He's got some speed. He may go 40 down to the 30 on his feet. Nobody going to catch. Deer Hill, touchdown Oregon. Nobody going to catch him.
Jerry Allen on Learfield. Ducks take care of the Wildcats 34-14.
And Dante Moore really opening a lot of eyes with what he's doing at quarterback, a young man that sat behind Dylan Gabriel last year. And that offense just operates with such efficiency. Lamar, who was their number 3 running back, looked very good in that game. And they've got maybe one of the most dangerous tight ends in the country in Kenyon Sadiq.
Yeah, Northwestern lost Cam Porter the week before, and they're going to lean a little bit more on the quarterback Stone to see if he can make some plays down the field, and it just won there. But credit Oregon's defense, and you're right, their offense has some explosive parts to it and pieces to it, and they showed up on the beautiful stadium right there by the lake.
Right by the lake.
Paul's second favorite destination comes up in a couple of weeks as we head to Champaign. That's where we go next. 9th-ranked Illinois hosted Western Michigan.
Dixon lines up to the left, couple of tight ends to the right. And here's the snap back to Altmaier, pulls it down, runs to the right, run into the corner, touchdown!
Brian Barnhart's on Learfield. Illini roll 38-0.
And Altmaier has certainly been a big key, having a returning starting quarterback. But he ended up running for that touchdown, and he passed for 2. But also, that experienced defensive secondary. And again, you take into consideration who they're playing, but an impressive road win at Duke last week. But that defensive secondary is another reason that people like what Illinois has the potential to do.
Coach Bielema said it was 10-0 at halftime. He goes, that was probably one of the most spirited halftimes that I've ever had, as a head coach here in Illinois. Yeah, and, that's 10-0. They were up, but Illini's taking care of business, getting things done. Broncos are sitting there at 0-3.
Wisconsin is next. How would the Badgers fare in Tuscaloosa against Alabama?
Double reverse for Bama in the flip back to the quarterback who slings it to Williams. We got a screen set up. He'll split him. He'll go across the 40. Gets another block across midfield. 20-10 touchdown Alabama. 75 yards.
Chris Stewart's on Learfield. Alabama takes care of Wisconsin 38-14.
Badgers did not get in the red zone at all in that game offensively. Now, they got a nice kickoff return for a touchdown, but their offense has really been hampered.
Are they going to get Billy Edwards back?
I don't know. He wasn't there last week.
Yeah, I mean, as they play Maryland this week, he'd probably like to play against his
probably would like to, yeah.
It was a tough outing for him.
Yeah, to West Lafayette after more than a 3-hour delay. Purdue hosted USC.
Brown will pass as he's hit, but it knocks up in the air, and it's taken out of the air by the Trojans. Jarrett, the big old dude, is at the 40, at the 30. He's got an escort at the 20, the 10. The big man has scored a touchdown for USC. All 6'5" and 360 pounds of Jamal Jarrett, the transfer from Georgia. How do you do?
Pete Arbogast, USC Radio, who just had to love it in West Lafayette. Trojans beat Purdue 33-17.
And if you saw the highlight of that, he was sweating gravy all the way into the end zone. Ryan Brown with 3 interceptions in that game. And here's what maybe is kind of the turning point for USC. Their defense is playing better.
USC snapped at a 14-game losing streak playing in the Eastern or Central time zone. So they got over that hump. Yeah, seeing big man touchdowns, that puts a smile on my face.
I bet.
Final stop, Iowa City, where the Hawkeyes hosted UMass.
32 seconds to play. Gronowski on a quarterback sneak. He's sniffing that end zone. Inside the 5. Touchdown! Touchdown, Iowa! Touchdown, quarterback Mark Gronowski. He gets that 6'2", 230-pound frame rumbling and stumbling, and he waltzes into the end zone for a touchdown.
Gary Dolphin on Learfield. Iowa blows out the Minutemen 47-7. Good for Kirk Ferentz.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what this big story was about. Now the all-time winningest coach in Big Ten history.
Yeah, I texted him Saturday night after the game. He got back to me on Sunday, and just a class act, I mean, he doesn't have to do that stuff, and but he does. I just said, hey, couldn't think of a better guy to break Woody's record, and his longevity and how much respect that the people around there in the state of Iowa have for him. Told him, Ann and I would always kind of root for the Hawkeyes unless they're playing the Buckeyes. And, he got back and said, thanks, Jim. So glad your family was part of this, Kirk.
And you know what? The other record he may have, nobody may ever coach at the same school as long as he has.
And he did it 55 games later than Woody. So
and,
Woody,
and there were some lean years during that. There were some lean years in there, too.
We know one person that won't break that record, and that is Deshaun Foster, UCLA, an early season coaching change. Will it matter?
This year, probably not. And, here's the crazy thing, Skip, about this, and you know it. Deshaun Foster was in a tough position. The late move to head coach after Chip Kelly left to come to Ohio State, and they just never seemed to really kind of get around that. Another part of it, we know this factors into everything. They said that Rose Bowl was darn near empty for that game.
It was an awful start time, though. It seems like 4 o'clock on a Friday afternoon.
Friday.
Yeah.
And they paid New Mexico a lot of money to come there and get that win.
Yeah, Martin Jamon is who we know is here at Ohio State. This is going to be a big hire for him, if they allow him to have complete control of that, now how it is with trustees and things like that. But he's got to find somebody there to get that program turned around because, that's supposed to add to the Big Ten, and right now they're
the move to the conference didn't help them either.
No.
The other notes here, guys, Nebraska, Maryland, Rutgers, USC, and Michigan State are all 3-0. I guess any surprising in that batch?
Maybe Maryland to the fact that they're running with a true freshman quarterback who's playing really, really well. But we also know we've seen this movie for Maryland before, beat up in the non-conference and then, have difficulty once conference play starts.
I think Mike Loxley's won like 15 or 16 non-conference games in a row. They do a good job scheduling, and I think they get Towson, his former alma mater, in there every year, which you respect that. But no, it's early.
Nebraska is the one that's like, okay, is this a year that now they get the Wolverines this week?
What's been interesting, too, is we knew and we've always heard that Raiola would be an outstanding quarterback, but it seems the fit with he and Dana Holgerson now as their coordinator seems to have really matched well.
And they've always talked about with Coach Rule year 3. That's when he's had a big jump. Baylor, when he's at Temple, Baylor, it didn't happen in Carolina. But now in Nebraska year 3, I think you're starting to see some of that, and they're starting to buy in. He's getting some of his guys there. And you're right, they got a quarterback that can make plays.
You mentioned Illinois at Indiana this week. Also, Sparty at USC, both are 3-0.
That'll be interesting to see. And Aiden Childs is a young man. We saw him in person last year. You saw some of the skill, but some of the erraticism. But he seems to have really settled in. The last time Illinois went and played at Bloomington, the head coach talked about the fact that, they shut off all the hot water in the visitors' locker room there in Bloomington. So I wonder if he's sending an advanced team to take care of plumbing needs.
That's not bad in September, but when you're playing in November and this cold water, take the shower pill.
Up next, we'll be joined by Ohio State coach Ryan Day as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
This is Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag BuckeyesCare.
Hey, Ohio State fans, are you looking to score big with your home equity? Union Home Mortgage will help you unlock the value of your home and fund the promises you've made to yourself and your family. If you need to pay off debt, have home improvements, or whatever your family needs are, visit UHM.com and score financial freedom with Union Home Mortgage, the official home lending sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Union Home Mortgage Corp. is an equal housing opportunity lender and MLS number 2229.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
A team that studies the unique makeup of your disease to develop a personalized treatment plan.
You're choosing our region's only comprehensive cancer center designated by the National Cancer Institute.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
The great thing about Atlas Butler is they do it all. Heating, cooling, plumbing. Look, I'm busy with work. I don't have time to wait around or deal with lots of people. One company, one call, and they do it all. Wonder if they'll clean out my inbox. Seriously, offer that service. Please.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Toyota gives you the power of choice. Now through September 30th, get 4.75 APR financing on a stylish new 25 Corolla or 5.75 on Corolla Hybrid. Excludes Corolla Cross and GR Corolla. Or lease a gas-powered 25 Corolla LE for $199 a month for 36 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. your Ohio State flagship station, The Fan. You're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
Welcome back, everyone, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule, with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels. I'm Skip Mossick. Ohio State Idol this week. They'll be at Washington coming up next Saturday. That'll be a 3:30 kickoff all across the state of Ohio here on your station. Joined for a few minutes now by Ohio State coach Ryan Day. His comments are presented by Kroger. And, Coach, your team beats Ohio 37-9. After breaking down the game, what were the things, I guess, you were most pleased with, and what areas will be the focus on improvements as you work through the bye week?
I thought the effort was good. It's sort of a non-negotiable, but I thought the guys played hard. I thought they played with good energy. I thought on defense that, we ran around and tackled well. Did a nice job for the most part of containing the quarterback. And then on offense, we were, explosive and certainly finished drives in the second half. Overall, just looking at it, we need to make sure that we're finishing drives when we're in the red zone. And we have to, not turn the ball over, obviously, in some of these conference games that we're heading into, or we're going to put ourselves at risk. And so some good things to get on the film here, look at this week, and get corrected.
Coach, you mentioned the word explosive, and that kind of reminds me of some of the things I saw from your defensive line. Kane McDonald, man, just getting off the ball angry quickly, getting in the backfield. You saw it from Caden Curry. You saw it from Kenyatta. You saw it from Bo Atkinson. All those guys that looked like they were, and I thought Will Smith Jr. inside did a nice job too. But they were all explosive and getting in the backfield in a hurry and getting through blockers.
Yeah, and that's what we're looking for. We want guys to be really disruptive and allow Sonny and Arvell to really, open up and run sideline to sideline. But to your point, I think K-Mac in particular was really knocking back the line of scrimmage. I thought Caden Curry and KJ were setting the edge well. And then, we started getting to the quarterback and, we flushed him out a couple times and had Arvell spying. And so, one of the things that, as you guys know, it's important is, the coverage and the rush have to work together. And so, if the quarterback has to go to a second or third read, by then, the rush is getting home. And so there's execution that comes with the patterns. But when we can knock the line of scrimmage back like we did and get them off schedule, that's the idea.
Coach, through 3 games, how would you describe how your group of running backs have used all of their different skills to combine to that total effort?
I think we're still, watching and learning to see how they respond in game, but it's clear to see, each of the guys has their own strengths and weaknesses, and, things that they need to improve on. But, all guys, certainly have gotten games now and gotten some, good quality, film so that they can look at themselves going into these conference games now with a plan, on how to attack this week, but then also for the coaches to recognize the things that they do well. And, it's our job to put them in, situations to, make sure that, they're using their strengths. So I won't get into all those right now, but it's pretty clear to see when you watch them, the things they do well. And I think the more and more Bo gets a chance to carry the ball and get experience, you're going to see more and more, explosive plays from him. And all 3 guys, and Isaiah West is the 4th one, are 3 down backs, which means they can carry the ball on first and second down, but they also can protect and run routes. So that certainly gives us a lot of flexibility.
Lorenzo Styles Jr., we hope he's going to be okay, but with him being out, we saw Jermaine Matthews, kind of go to his role, and then Devin Sanchez coming in and playing some of that cornerback where Jermaine was. Is that what you would probably do or continue to do in the future?
Well, the good news is we have some depth there, so we'll take a look to see how Lorenzo's doing coming out of this week. But Bryce West, Aaron Scott gives us some good flexibility there. Devin, did some nice things as well when he was in there on Saturday. And the more he plays as a freshman, the more comfortable he'll get. We do have some different options to go to. Hoping that Lorenzo can heal quickly. But when it comes to that position, moving Jermaine inside is something that we've been working on here in camp, in terms of building depth, like we've talked about, guys playing multiple positions, and Jermaine's one of those guys.
What's kind of the plan for a bye week as far as the work that you want to do combined with recruiting and all of the other things?
Yeah, we really kind of call it an improvement week like we did last year, which means, it was only 3 weeks into the season. So now August was a physical month for us, so we are going to catch our breath a little bit, but we got to improve in all different areas, individually, and then in all three phases. We'll certainly be working on some situations, getting ready for the noise in Washington on offense, and making sure that, we're getting ahead of these opponents so that we can, again, put our players in the best position to be successful, because the first goal was beat Texas, and then we started, playing some of our depth. We're starting to gain an identity in all three phases, but as we take a look at what we've done here in these first three games, we have to identify what we've done well and project out where we think we need to go. And so those are all the decisions we're making this week.
Well, the punt team had a short meeting group this week. I'm sure Joe McGuire would probably like a few more opportunities, but it didn't happen. But, again, that's awesome. Obviously, when you turn over in downs and you go for it there, and, you had some field goal attempts, but, you didn't get stopped on your end of the field, which is huge, and you didn't have to punt. So that's a good sign.
Yeah. We feel like, we have certain areas in special teams that we want to continue to work at, and, our coverage units, our return units. But, we always want to be aggressive, but certainly the punt team is a very, very important role in this team. And as we know in these matchups games, we already saw in the Texas game, this becomes a very important part of the battle of field position. So we spent a lot of time on punt. And again, just like all the other things, we got to make sure that, we're planning ahead on what's coming, because, when you can get a turnover or steal a possession in special teams, it can flip the game on both sides.
Well, Coach Day, we know you have a full week of work ahead for you and your staff and your team and everybody. Is it an advantage getting to see your opponents play on Saturday, knowing you guys have it off?
Well, they didn't play last week, so this will be their third game. Right. So, they got a chance to see us play this week, and we'll do that. We only have 2 games from the season to work with, but it's more about us than it is them this week, and then we'll get a chance to see how they do on Saturday and go from there.
Good deal. Ohio State coach Ryan Day. Ryan, we always appreciate your time. We'll chat next week, okay?
Okay, guys, thanks.
Coach's comments presented by Kroger. Kroger Pickup is the easy way to get what you want right when you need it. Try Kroger Pickup today in the Kroger app or at Kroger.com. Maybe I spit it out wrong, but I meant getting a chance to see them live on Saturday when they play Washington State. That was all.
Yeah, and think about this. Here's how college football has changed. Their season-ending rivalry game now is at the end of September, being in different conferences. That's the thing. At least they're still having it. And it seems, Skip, too, that there's some other of these rivalry games that were changed because of conference changes. The schools are trying to get back. How great was it to see the backyard brawl come back together?
Yeah. Good for West Virginia. A little bit better for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is. What they call this, the Apple Cup.
The Apple Cup.
Yeah, so that'll be a fun one to watch, and of course that's next week or this week, and then you get some film on those guys and get a chance. Now, is Washington State in a conference anymore?
What do they call that thing?
I think it's a recreated Pac-12.
Pac-2?
I don't know if it's taken hold this year or not, but
4 or 5, whatever they call it now.
It's Washington State, Oregon State, and then some of the Old Mountain West schools, I think, have been thrown together with that.
All right, up next, we'll hit the red zone with Tim May as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
More of Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Now, the officials have been talking for quite some time.
All righty, let's see what they have to say.
Upon further review, there is no penalty on the play. However, we have conferred and discovered that Bob, the line judge, has saved a boatload for his kids' college using Ohio's 529 plan. It is tax-free, accepted nationwide. Bob recommends we all go to collegeadvantage.com. First down.
Well, that's not entirely unexpected.
Classic Bob.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Experience Buckeye Game Day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
American Electric Power is a proud sponsor of Buckeyes Care.
Hi, I'm Janelle Coleman with American Electric Power. AEP comes together with our communities to create a better future every day. Whether we serve, build, or simply share with others, we make Central Ohio brighter for our neighbors. Our collaboration with Buckeyes Care is another way we work to make the future boundless for all.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule, with Jim Lachey and Paul Keels. I'm Skip Mossick. Coach Cooper back with us coming up next week. For every Buckeye touchdown scored this season, the Heartland Bank Community Foundation will make a donation to the USO of Central and Southern Ohio, benefiting our active duty military personnel and their families. For more information or to support our troops, go to usocso.org and be the force behind the forces.
Buckeye Roundtable Red Zone.
Tim May joins us inside the red zone. And Tim, despite the two turnovers, Julian Sayin continues to put up impressive numbers for Ohio State offensively. How would you rate what you've seen from him through 3 games versus, I guess, the unknowns coming into the season?
I'd probably give him an A- because he probably would too, because the couple of turnovers last week, would have been huge in a close game, obviously. Any tip pass at the line of scrimmage, near the line of scrimmage, is always a quarterback's fault, no matter what else is going on. And then, of course, guy missed his block on that pass pro there in that second half, or whenever that was, when he got hit as he was trying to get rid of the ball. That was a very strange play, as I'm sure you guys all agree. But as Brian Day even said after the game, that's when you just pull it close to the chest and hang on, right? Sometimes you just got to take your medicine. So, but other than that, I mean, the guy, he's been on point. And the reason I gave A- is because I know how much Ryan Day abhors turnovers.
No question. Ryan Day talked so much, Tim, also about the concerns of what didn't happen at times in the red zone. On that fourth and goal to go situation, when you look at that, do you have a combination of admiring the aggressiveness to go for it, but also wonder if that was a different opponent? Is it a different approach?
Yeah, you have all of that. I mean, like Ryan said, you go for it once and you go, okay, and now you have to swallow your pride a little bit and take the easy threes, right, or whatever you get. But yeah, I mean, I think it all adds up in that. But you remember against Texas, they went for it and got that touchdown down there with C.J. Donaldson behind 4 tight ends. So it's funny, something worked against Texas, didn't work against Ohio, but that's football for you. But yeah, Ryan Day knows he's got a really good team, and I don't know. I'm whispering only because I'm on a golf course, and also I don't want anybody else to hear this. He knew that last week they had a major advantage. Why not push it? And so the first time definitely, but when Julian Sayin stepped up and almost escaped, and that guy got him by the foot, it was that close to Julian Sayin probably walking in right there. So on that first drive. So you can understand him being bold. He wants his team to be bold. You want to come out feeling with a lot of confidence about your short yardage game. And instead now there's a little bit of a head scratcher. But guys, I keep going back to this. You got to score in the red zone, touchdowns in the red zone. But they gained 572 yards and gave up 181 and beat the other team by 28. That's still a pretty damn good day or evening.
Tim, this year's offense versus last year's offense, have you seen, obviously you've got some new personnel, quarterback, most importantly, but play callers too with Chip Kelly, Brian Hartline. Have you noticed many changes between this year and last year?
Now, that's a loaded rhetorical question because you know what I'm going to say is I've never seen so many tight ends on the field in any given games. You agree, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, when have they ever had in our time, when have they ever really had 4 tight ends that they trusted to be on the field at the same time? So that's a big change. And I kept reminding people about Brian Hartline. Everybody thought, he's a wide receiver coach, this ballyhooed guy that goes out and recruits this great talent and then trains it, and he's just going to throw the ball all over the lot. No. I mean, if you listen to him talk beforehand and if you just watch the play calling, they want to get a credible running game going. And we'll see if that continues. I mean, they actually had a pretty credible running game last week. I think the conundrum right now in everybody's mind is who is their number one tailback? But as Matt Wilhelm pointed out on the Tim May show this week or today, the bottom line is you want all 3 of those guys playing, right? Because of the length of this schedule and everything else. But there is no doubt that Bo Jackson brings a little dash of pepper to the menu when he gets on the field. And I think when he started the second half there, it kind of told you all you wanted to know, really.
Let's go off the board in a different direction. What do you make of the UCLA situation?
Strange, very strange. But I think y'all will agree with me. It was a strange upgrade, elevation higher in the first place, right? And so it's our man Martin Jarman has his hands full. Is he still there, by the way?
He is. Yes, he is.
Haven't checked the latest headlines if you follow my drift. But the bottom line is, there's no excuse for UCLA not to be good. Great. Yeah, you can make an excuse for them not to be great, but they should be good, and they should definitely not be super bad like they have been. And, you got to make your moves, but this is a strange time to make that move.
Obviously, Kirk Ferentz broke Woody Hayes' record this week. Do you think anyone will break Kirk Ferentz's record? Woody had that for a long time, and, Woody's been gone since '87. But do you think in the future, Ryan Day's probably got, 12 years more here. He would be close or knocking on the door of that. But do you think that record's safe?
I think it might be because I don't see – I think you agree. The era of the long-running college head football coaches at one school, it's hard to imagine. Unless a coach moved from one Big Ten school to the other, right, like Brett Bielema's done. Yeah. Brett Bielema's still got some time, right? So that could probably make it happen. But, either you get tired of the school or the school gets tired of you, eventually, unless you're a couple of places. Heck, look at what Ryan Day went through last year, right? And all he did was win the national championship. So,
right.
it's very difficult to stick around that while. And real quick, the other thing is you're getting paid so well now, why take the grief?
Tim May, we never get tired of you. We'll talk again next week on the Roundtable Show, okay?
It was always a pleasure. I always get a par on the holes I miss here.
I like that.
Put me down for a 3.
Keep talking.
Up next, our Encova Insurance Archie Griffin High School Player of the Week Award, our American Dairy Association Mideast's top high school performances, and our whip around the state. We'll hit the sidelines. Tyler Danberg and Ohio State quarterback Julian Sayin. Bill Landis will join us for tonight's Insiders Access segment. All that and more coming up here on the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
James Peoples here, running back for the Ohio State Buckeyes. You have to check out the brand new AAA Buckeyes MVP membership. Get all the benefits of AAA, such as 24/7 roadside assistance, plus chances to win tickets to Buckeyes sporting events, access to exclusive MVP experiences, along with 10% off select gear at the Ohio State Team Shop. Already a AAA member? Add the Buckeyes MVP membership for free. Head to AAA.com/Buckeyes to upgrade or join the squad and put your fandom in drive.
For over 37 years, Buckeye Nation has known Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse for serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks are a staple in Columbus, with 3 locations in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. And just like the Buckeyes, we strive for excellence and an experience like no other. Hyde Park is proud to introduce the newly added wine room at our downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining surrounds you, creating the ideal setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
At Ohio State, we are the never afraid to innovate teams, the agile, get it done teams, the achieve more together teams, and the improve people's lives teams. Together, we are the Ohio State University.
Learn more about Ohio State at osu.edu/impact.
Nobody has more all-wheel drive or electrified hybrid choices than Toyota, including the best-selling Camry. It's all hybrid all the time with available all-wheel drive. Now through September 30th, get 4.75 APR financing on any new 25 Camry or lease a Camry LE from just $279 a month for 36 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium, presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars, Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus, The Fan.
Good evening, I'm Tyler Danberg. Ohio State remains atop the AP Top 25 poll. Buckeyes are on bye this week before a strong 4-game stretch for head coach Ryan Day and his team.
A lot of work to do here in the bye week, because this run that we're about to go on is going to be a difficult run. We have to go to Washington. Just talk to the team about this. We got to come back, play Minnesota, then we got to go to Illinois and to Wisconsin, and that's going to be a difficult run. There's some good teams there, and so we got to make sure that we got our ducks in a row as we head into this run.
In baseball, Reds and Guardians both 2.5 games out of the NL and AL wildcard spots. Cincinnati's at St. Louis at 7:45. Cleveland's off before visiting Detroit for 3 games. NFL this evening, Buccaneers and Texans battle at 7, followed by the Chargers and Raiders at 10. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
When you're here, you understand what it means to be a Buckeye. And at Elk & Elk, we're proud to wear scarlet and gray every Saturday. Every client, every day, means if you're ever injured, we're proud to stand with you in court. And when you're here at the shoe, we're proud to stand with you and cheer on the Buckeyes.
Whether we're here at the big game or in court, we are committed to you.
Elk & Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix, guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. And you never compromise your appetite with our golden brown bread that's baked fresh in store. And you never compromise your wallet with our lower prices. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King, is on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show with Jim Lachey and Paul Keels. I'm Skip Mossick. Ohio State is off this week. They'll be at Washington a week from Saturday, 3:30 kickoff. We'll be on the air with the AEP Energy Buckeye pregame show beginning at 2 p.m. More on that coming up, but right now it's time to talk some high school football.
It's time for the Encova Insurance High School Player Award on Buckeye Roundtable.
One of the highlights of the Buckeye Roundtable show is the presentation of the Encova Insurance Archie Griffin Athletes of the Week Award. During each Roundtable show, Encova Insurance and the Ohio State Sports Network honor a high school athlete for their outstanding play and team leadership. And tonight's recipient is senior running back Brandon White from Lakewood St. Edward High School. Friday night, White had 27 carries, 171 yards, 3 big touchdowns, leading St. Edward to a 28-14 win over Cleveland Glenville. The Eagles are coached by Tom Lombardo. They are 4-0 and will play at 2-2 Massillon, Washington on Friday night. Again, congratulations to Brandon White from Lakewood St. Edward High School, the recipient of this week's Encova Insurance Archie Griffin High School Athlete of the Week Award. Encova Insurance, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Time now for Buckeye Roundtable's American Dairy Association Mideast top performers and our whip around the state.
Big win for St. Ed's last week. That was a good one and a nice night by Brandon White, but that was not the only big performance from this past weekend.
No, I got a Strongsville freshman running back, Austin Tedolinsky, had 21 carries for 208 yards and a pair of touchdowns, leading Strongsville past Cleveland Heights 29-26.
Upper Arlington quarterback Luke Backus, 17 of 23 passing, 240 yards, 3 touchdowns, and had another on the ground as Upper Arlington beat New Albany 42-7.
Skip knows I like defense, so I got one here. Mason defensive end A.J. Kaler had 6 tackles, 3 sacks, and forced 2 fumbles in Mason's 21-14 victory over Oak Hills.
Steubenville running back Kawan Bryant, 158 all-purpose yards, a touchdown reception, and the game winner on the ground in overtime as Big Red beat Cardinal Mooney 27-24.
Chardon linebacker Jaden Booth led his team with 10 tackles, 5 solos, 4 TFLs, and Chardon's 17-13 win over Perry.
Indian Hill quarterback Devlin Daniels, 6 of 9 passing for 155 yards and a pair of touchdowns. Also ran 10 times for 61 yards and another score as Indian Hill beat Wyoming 28-7.
Ended their long winning streak, I want to say, Wyoming. So that big win for Indian Hill.
Deer Park running back Morgan Brown had 172 all-purpose yards and a couple touchdowns, leading Deer Park over Reading 26-6.
Chagrin Falls defensive back Will Flannery with a hand in 3 defensive turnovers, forcing 1 fumble, recovering another one, and adding an interception. And Chagrin Falls 31-9 win over Independence.
Avon quarterback Blake Elder was 10 of 15 passing for 232 yards and 5 touchdowns as Avon crushed past North Ridgeville 55-7.
Speaking of Elder, Cincinnati Elder safety Jared Lammers, 8 tackles and a game-sealing interception to help the Elder Panthers hold off the LaSalle Lancers 16-8.
Thomas Worthington tight end Dom Perini had 9 catches for 213 yards and 3 touchdowns, helping lead the Cardinals past Grove City 42-21.
Elyria Catholic running back Zion Castillo lugged the ball 42 times for 272 217 yards and a touchdown in Elyria Catholic 17-0 win over Vermilion.
42 carries. My goodness.
Lots of work.
Begin our weekly whip around the stick. Speaking of work, we begin our night in Perry County as we check in with WHIZ's David Kinder.
It's been a special season so far for the Crooksville Ceramics, and that continued Friday night in a 39-33 win over Meadowbrook. Senior quarterback Brayson Hill ran for a 57-yard touchdown on the first play of the game, and he was just getting started. He finished the night carrying the ball for a school record 342 yards on the ground and 5 rushing touchdowns. Hill also threw a touchdown pass for good measure, and the Ceramics are now 4-0 for the first time in 16 years. This week, Crooksville is home to play 2-2 Morgan. Reporting for WHIZ Radio in Zanesville, I'm David Kinder.
Famous ceramic alum, Fawn Leibowitz. No, just got stuck up to Northeast Ohio. She was going to make me a pot. A huge night in the Bassett game as we hear from WKNR's Kevin Arnold.
Offensive showdowns seem to be the theme as of late in Northeast Ohio high school football. In a 49-48 thrilling win over the Geneva Eagles this past Friday, Hawkins quarterback Donovan Moorhead went 42 of 67 for 474 yards and 5 touchdowns with 0 interceptions. Plus, he threw the game-winning 2-point conversion to keep the Hawks unbeaten. Hawkins puts their undefeated record on the line this week at Madison. For WKNR in Cleveland, I am Kevin Arnold.
All right, Kevin, Northwest Ohio, some pretty good quarterback play there as well. Here's WIMA's Todd Walker.
Senior quarterback J.J. Spiker led Shawnee past Bath 31-21 Friday night at Bath. Spiker threw for 189 yards and a touchdown and rushed for 134 yards and a touchdown as Shawnee improved to 3-0 in the Western Buckeye League for the first time since 2021. They haven't been 4-0 in the league since 2008. They'll try to get that done Friday when they host Salina. Reporting for 1150 WIMA in Lima, this is Todd Walker.
Down to Mercer County, big night from a kid from Minster. Here's WCSM's Ron Brunswick.
After starting the season with 3 straight home games, going 2-1, Mr. Wildcats traveled for the first time this season, getting on the bus and going to Rockford to take on the Parkway Panthers. Sophomore quarterback Carson Kaler completed 16 of 20 pass attempts for 257 yards. 6 of those completions went for touchdowns ranging from 22 to 52 yards, with 4 different teammates collecting touchdowns. This led to a 49-20 Wildcat victory. Kaler now has passed for 718 yards and 10 touchdowns for the season. The Wildcats this Friday travel to Cavalier Stadium to take on the Coldwater Cavaliers in a key MAC battle. I'm Ron Brunswick for your sports leader, WCSM.
Champaign County is next. We want to talk about some huge offensive numbers. Here's WPKO's Chad Wilkinson.
It was all offense in the Battle of Champaign County with the Urbana Hill Climbers facing the Graham Falcons. Nearly 1,300 yards of total offense and 114 points scored. It was Graham running all over Urbana, 67-47. The Falcons rushed for 588 yards. 3 rushers were over 100, including Jacob Hoke, who had 15 carries for 252 yards and 2 scores. In a losing effort, Urbana's quarterback Grady Lance went 42 out of 58 for 533 yards and 5 touchdowns. The Graham Falcons are 4-0. Urbana's now 1-3. From 98.3 WPKO in Bell Fountain, I'm Chad Wilkinson.
Knox County next, a massive night on the ground. Here's WMVO's Tyler Mathias.
Mount Vernon quarterback Mason Richards ran for 302 yards and 5 touchdowns as Mount Vernon knocked off Johnstown in overtime 35-34. Richards scored the game-tying touchdown in overtime before the extra point sent the Jackets to that 35-34 win. Meanwhile, Nick McFerrin totaled 26 tackles, a school record in Fredericktown's win against Cardington Lincoln. The Freddies take on Mount Gilead in the Battle of Unbeatens in KMAC play this Friday night. Mount Vernon will play at Heath. Reporting from WQIO and WMVO, I'm Tyler Mathias.
Thanks again to all of our affiliates from around the state. Great whip tonight, fellas. Hard to believe this week will mark the midway point of the season. It's just flying by. Home teams this past week.
St. Henry got a win over the Fort Recovery Indians. Started slow but finished strong. And the Bobcats posted a shutout, got a victory.
Was Shelley Dubinsky also a ceramic alum, Skip? The Cincinnati Moeller went to Tennessee and beat Christ Presbyterian Academy.
They have a big one this week. Moeller does with, I believe, St. X this week.
I know, because they're tying into a landmark year reunion this weekend.
Oh, really? What might the big number be?
That might be 50-year high school reunion this weekend for some of us.
I bet I know where somebody's going to be certain night. Yes? No.
But probably not at the game, but at the reunion, yes.
Class of 75.
Hartley big over Watkins Memorial. Tough win this week down at Hamilton. Baden, our top performers from around the state, was presented by the American Dairy Association Mideast. A reminder from Ohio's dairy farmers, 8 ounces of delicious chocolate milk has 8 grams of protein with the power to fuel everyone, including Ohio State quarterback Tavian St. Clair. He's built like a Buckeye, and you can be too. Learn more at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/built like a Buckeye. There were a couple of surprises in the top 25 we will discuss after further review as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
The best outcomes for treating cancer come from early detection and early diagnosis.
The James Cancer Diagnostic Center at Ohio State
is designed to provide rapid evaluation and a clear diagnosis.
We are transforming care by giving patients direct access
to cancer experts who study and treat cancer every day.
If you think you have cancer, the choice is clear.
Choose the James Cancer Diagnostic Center.
Ready?
It doesn't matter if you're playing hard or working hard. Your workout only works out if you recover right. Chocolate milk helps you recover for what comes next. It's delicious and contains the right mix of protein and carbs to help refuel exhausted muscles. From biking to bench presses, Milk's protein helps you build lean muscle and gain more from your workouts.
Ready? Recover. Repeat. Brought to you by the American Dairy Association Mideast, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, getting ahead in this world is not as complicated as it might seem. Having the early guidance and counsel of your community banker, one who knows you and your family's story, can make a great deal of difference. Relationships matter. Bank on community banking. I'm Scott McComb, coming over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The great thing about Atlas Butler is they do it all. Heating, cooling, plumbing. Look, I'm busy with work. I don't have time to wait around or deal with lots of people. One company, one call, and they do it all. Wonder if they'll clean out my inbox. Seriously, offer that service. Please.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Experience Buckeye Game Day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com.
Nobody has more all-wheel drive or electrified hybrid choices than Toyota. Now through September 30th, get 4.75 APR financing on a new 25 RAV4 or 5.75 on RAV4 Hybrid. Excludes plug-ins. Or lease a gas-powered RAV4 LE for $299 a month for 36 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Buckeye football lives here. The Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels. I'm Skip Mossick. Join Coach Ryan Day and experts from across Buckeye Nation to preview every matchup and break down each week's game. Game Time with Ryan Day, presented by Huntington Bank, airs Game Day Saturday mornings at 9 on 10 TV in Columbus and statewide on ohiostatebuckeyes.com.
Buckeye Roundtable.
Greatest play, so under further review.
After further review.
Nichols the holder. Burr is ready. Snap back, set down, booted up. It's got the leg. It's got the chance. It is good! A school record tying 55-yard field goal. And Aiden Burr delivers the dagger that slays the Tigers. Final score, Tech 24, Clemson 21, and the field is getting stormed.
Andy Demetra, Georgia Tech Radio. Biggest win for Tech in a while. They beat Clemson 24-21. Tech is 3-0.
You know, we should be talking about Haynes King a lot more. The Georgia Tech quarterback. He's a guy that is in his 6th year. He's played an awful lot of football. He's been a significant part of that program getting turned around. Now, on the other hand of that, Clemson, they've got the roadmap of how to turn this thing around based on what they did last year. Correct. But, oof.
Started the season at number 4, I believe.
Yeah.
Clemson. Cade Klubnik had 1 interception and a fumble in that ball game, and that was costly.
Another upset as we head to Columbia, where South Carolina hosted Vanderbilt.
There's the snap. It's a give to Seti. He bounces near sideline toward the left. He's got the speed. He's got the corner. He's got the touchdown. Vanderbilt. It's the KO of South Carolina.
Andy Allegretta on Learfield, not close. Vandy rolls South Carolina 31-7.
And Lenora Sellers, the South Carolina quarterback, got hurt in this football game. Diego Pavia, still playing football. He's in his 10th year of eligibility. I don't know how many years, seems like it. But, but Lenora Sellers getting hurt was a big part of this.
The Vanderbilt Commodores, they held the ball for 12 minutes longer than South Carolina. And, when you can do that, you just limit the game. You shorten the game a little bit, and every possession means so much. And the Gamecocks, not only they got blown out. I mean, it was 31-7. There's no excuses.
Next to South Bend, where 8th-ranked Notre Dame hosted number 16 Texas A&M.
4th and goal from the 11-yard line. Down 6, 40-34. Concepcion in motion from right to left. The shotgun snap, Marcel. Throws, end zone, caught! Touchdown! Touchdown! Nate Borkature! We're tied! An extra point to come!
Andrew Monaco on Learfield. Some in some households say that there was some holding on that play. Regardless, A&M
might that be, Skip?
A&M gets the win 41-40.
Marcel Reed has really turned into an outstanding quarterback. And think about this series between these two schools. Notre Dame wins at College Station last year, and then the Aggies go up there and gig them in South Bend.
I heard the tight end saying when he caught that pass to Demon City, he lost in the lights, and all of a sudden it just kind of hit him right in the hands. He saw it at the last second and caught it, but where's the defense? You score 40, you should win that game.
What does this do to Notre Dame as far as the playoffs now without a conference championship game?
Botched extra point attempt at the end for Notre Dame. The previous possession really costly.
3 losses in a row, I'm thinking.
You are correct. You're thinking correctly, Jim Lachey. You're right on the money. Another great finish in the SEC. Tennessee hosted Georgia that went to overtime.
Out of the shotgun. Hand it to McCray. There he goes. He drives in. They grab him from behind. Did he get the ball over? Close to the goal line. No signal yet.
After further review, it is a touchdown.
Oh, yeah! Rocky Top crumbles. Dogs are winners. 44-41 in overtime. How's that for a finish?
Scott Howard on Learfield. Georgia beats Tennessee 44-41.
And Gunnar Stockton been kind of criticized for his quarterback play, but this is a real endorsement of what he brings to that Georgia offense.
And it looked like Tennessee had a chance to win it in regulation. They missed a short field goal, and that obviously got into overtime, and it wasn't good.
Stay in the SEC. LSU hosted Florida.
Lagway by his lonesome, takes the snap, looks left, quick fire, intercepted at the 43-yard line. Coming near side, it's a race to the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Fighting Tigers. Touchdown, Deshaun Spears, his second pick of the night, 59 yards. And the Tigers, with a pick 6, make it 19-10. And Tiger Stadium is on fire.
Chris Blair, LSU Radio. Don't ask Brian Kelly, please, about his offense, but they beat Florida 2010.
His defense came up with 5 interceptions. That's a big reason why they won that football game.
That's a ridiculous question, Skip. Ridiculous. Come on.
There's some other,
Don't ask about the offense. We scored 20 points. That should be enough. You guys are spoiled.
There's some other questions that he should be asked.
But again, you don't have to be that way, but he is. To Miami, the Hurricanes hosted upset-minded South Florida.
Here comes the blitz. It's picked up. Beck pumps. Now he fires deep. Got a man out there. It's going to be goal! Josh Moore. He goes over the top of the defensive back, and it's a beautiful catch by Josh Moore. The connection between Beck and Moore is majestic.
Joe Zagacki, Hurricane Network. Miami wins big over South Florida, 49-12.
The change of address seems to have done well for Carson Beck at the quarterback position, playing as well as he ever did at Georgia.
And I think Miami's the real deal this year. They're going to be dangerous. And, they got Florida. Can we get another coach? He's already on the hot seat, but, be 1-3 to start the season. Miami's hot, and, they play Florida next week.
Final stop is Jonesboro as Arkansas State hosted 14th-ranked Iowa State.
First and goal play from the 4. Rocco will hand it to Sama, runs over a tackler and goes in for the touchdown. He just steamrolled an intended tackler and took it in for the 4-yard touchdown. Abu Sama.
John Walters on Learfield. Cyclones still unbeaten, but boy, they got all they wanted as they beat Arkansas State 24-16.
Having been to Jonesboro, Arkansas one night for about a week.
Tell me about the meal you had in Jonesboro.
Well, we had to go across the border to Missouri to get accoutrements for the meal. Anyway, Iowa State is a team that, and Rocco Becht has really kind of firmed himself up as an outstanding quarterback. And, the Big 12 always seems like somebody flashes and then they don't finish, but Iowa State's off to a good start.
Back-to-back years that they started the season 4-0, and that's the first time in school history that's happened.
Kind of a light week in the top 25 as far as opposites playing each other. Auburn is at Oklahoma. Texas Tech is at Utah. Enjoy that 10 a.m. local kick time, fellas, out there in Salt Lake.
How about Texas beating UTEP? But Arch Manning, 10 consecutive incompletions in that game.
That didn't make social media at all, did it?
No.
No. It had a little football brunch there, huh?
10 a.m. local.
Oh, man.
I hear it's big.
Yeah.
Big 10 a.m.
Imagine?
Enjoy that, fellas. Up next, we'll hit the sidelines. Tyler Danberg with the Ohio State quarterback Julian Sayin. That's right around the corner as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
This is Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite repair, Safelite replace.
Hey, Ohio State fans! Next time that snack craving hits, Burger King has you covered with the O-Fry O bundle. You get a medium fry, 8-piece chicken fries, 8-piece mozzarella fries, and an 8-piece chicken nuggets, all for just $10. It's perfect snack fuel for one, wherever and whenever you're cheering on the scarlet and gray. At BK, have it your way. You rule! Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Tax extra.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
The Donato's Pep Duo Pizza is back, and it brought a pal. The Donato's Pep Duo, loaded with crispy pepperoni and 3 kinds of cheese. Now get a large Pep Duo pizza for just $14.99. Also back, Donato's deliciously dippable pepperoni cheese bread. Now on the $5 Pizza Pals menu for a limited time. More toppings, more flavor, more fun. Donato's, gotta love more.
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
The Fan. Ohio sports destination. You're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
Welcome back, everyone, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels. I'm Skip Mossick. Be sure to check out the Buckeye Game Day concert series presented by the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer before every home game this season outside of St. John Arena in Buckeye Fan Fest. Each week features a different artist on stage 2 hours before kickoff. Get on board. Book your cruise today. Visit BuckeyeCruise.com. Go Buckeyes and beat cancer.
This is the Elk and Elk Report on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Jim, let's talk a little bit more about the running backs. Not that anyone is playing poorly, but Bo Jackson, is he certainly making a case for himself to get some more carries?
I think so. I mean, like I said, he's averaging almost 12 yards per carry. So, when you do that's going to get you some more reps because he's earned it, back-to-back 100-yard games. But, C.J. Donaldson adds something. James Peoples adds something. You heard Coach Day talk earlier about Isaiah West. So all three of those guys and the fourth guy, Isaiah West, are going to be in the plan and in the mix there. But you would think in the future that, the way he's hit two big plays now, a 61-yarder, 67-yarder, or 64 and a 51-yarder, he's got that ability, and if a guy shows it, he does it back-to-back weeks. Why not keep feeding him?
And, Paul, we've been doing this long enough that that as grueling as the Big Ten conference season is, you're going to get banged up a little bit, so you need more than one guy.
Well, and I think all you have to do, Skip, is look back to last year. And, Travion Henderson had injury problems leading into last year, but Quinshon Judkins, the load he carried, helped really spread that work out amongst the two.
Our Two Deep report was presented by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO.
Now for Buckeye Roundtables from the Sidelines Report on the Ohio State Sports Network.
572 yards by the Ohio State offense Saturday night against Ohio. Quarterback Julian Sayin, 25 of 32, 347, 3 touchdowns. He did have a couple of picks. After the game, Sayin with our Tyler Danberg.
Julian, Coach Day was talking about how this team didn't panic coming into halftime. What does a win like today say about how you guys can respond?
Yeah, I think wins are hard to come by, and I think nobody in this locker room had any panic, like Coach Day said. And we come out there, and they ended up scoring on their first drive, and we go out there and respond. And I think it was a good job by our offensive line and our receivers moving the ball. I think we were a little sloppy in our execution. That starts with me.
Julian, your 2 deep balls, how did it feel coming out of your hand, and what was your reaction to both those touchdowns?
Yeah, Coach Day and Coach Fessel, they always say, throw it high and give the receivers a chance and, put some air on it. And those guys made some great catches. Carnell with the post, and then Jeremiah also with the post, made some great catches. So it was awesome to see.
Looking at the Carnell Tate touchdown, what has improved in your deep ball accuracy from your first touchdown to Tate, which you said you might want a little bit more air underneath it, compared to this touchdown to Carnell?
Yeah, I think just, getting on the same page in practice and, just continuing to improve in practice. I think we've gotten on the same page and done a good job in working our, connection with all the receivers in practice, and it's a big focal point.
Julian, can you sometimes tell when a play can work out the way it does just by the way what you see pre-snap?
Yeah, that play actually we worked on it a lot that week, and we kind of knew we were going to get we got in that formation. So pre-snap I was a little bit excited because I thought I was going to maybe have what we talked about during the week.
Your celebration with Luke Montgomery, I believe, after the touchdown to Carnell. Did your feet ever touch the ground? What were you feeling?
I went up in the air to go, chest bump with Luke, and ended up on the ground, but they picked me up. Yeah.
Julian, last one for you. Big Ten play starts up in 2 weeks. What's excites you about going out to Seattle?
Yeah, they're a really good opponent. Amazing crowd. I've never been out there, so we have a tough challenge on our hands. We gotta get back to work.
Thanks, Julian. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Again, guys, we touched on it earlier, but your thoughts on Sayin after a 3-game sample, Jim?
No, I like it. I like what he's doing. And I saw something where on deep balls, 20-plus yards, he's number one in the country as far as completing those. So, I mean, that says a lot for a first-time starter and what he brings to the table. But, that's a strong suit. He continues to make plays. He continues to move around the pocket well. I just want to see him bust a run. I haven't seen him really show that escapability that you might need, down the road in the Big Ten. And, but everything else looks good. When he's well protected, he's going to find the open receiver.
Yeah, and certainly seeing the way he's been able to play out there and connect with the playmakers has been impressive. Like you, Jim, want to see that. I'm curious to see how he does in his first road environment next week. Also curious about, we saw Lincoln Kienholz for one play, and there's been all this talk about maybe there's packages for him. It'd be interesting to see what develops with that going forward.
You mentioned the noise factor, and that's something we were going to get into later, is that anybody who's been to a game out there, anybody's heard about a game out there, very loud stadium is Husky Stadium.
Yeah, now last time we went out there when Ohio State played, it wasn't, because number one, they weren't very good, and there was about 10,000 Ohio State fans there. But, yeah, they used to refer to it as the fun zone, where they have all of the folks down there screaming and hollering and yelling. There's an overhang that kind of helps buffet the sound back down toward the field.
Yeah, both sides, it's that overhang that kind of keeps it in a little bit, which is nice if it rains, which it does a lot out there in Seattle, but we're hoping for a good day. I haven't looked that far ahead for forecast or anything like that.
I don't know.
They weren't a booth, so I don't care, but I feel bad for Tyler if he's down there and the sidelines getting wet, but otherwise I don't really worry about it.
It's fine. He's young. He can take it. It's all good. But, I remember, Coach Cooper can tell you about a trip out to Seattle and how loud it can get, and it can be a tough place to play.
He says it's one of the toughest places he's coached from his days back there at the then Pac-10, but, and they're playing good too, so that's got a lot to do with it as well.
And Don James, who was probably Coach Cooper's going as a former Ohioan, and heck of a football coach. And I know Randy Hart, our old defensive line coach, went there and coached for a long, long time, actually retired with the Huskies. And, they won a national championship, I think, when he was
Lambright was the head coach.
When he was on that staff. And they had big defensive linemen that the Colts ended up drafting.
Yeah. Steve Ent? Is that who it was?
Yeah, I think it was,
okay.
They're right at the NFL.
Well, I still, and Skip, you can remember, way back in the days when Coach James was there, Warren Moon and Spider Gaines, when they went to the Rose Bowl and beat Michigan.
Heck of a player, Warren Moon.
Long plane ride out there, fellas. So
yes.
Yeah. Time to download some movies.
Of course. Are we there yet? Seriously, are we there yet? All right, up next, longtime Ohio State beat reporter Bill Landis will jump on and join us as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
More of Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
True North convenience stores are your coffee and fountain champions. Fuel up your game day with True Rewards. Buy 6 True Brew coffees or True Oasis fountain drinks and get your 7th free. Whether you're heading to a game or watching from home, grab a True Brew coffee or an ice-cold True Oasis fountain drink to keep you going all 4 quarters. Find True Rewards in your app store or visit TrueNorthStores.com to get started. True North convenience stores. Fast, friendly, clean. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 3 trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Toyota has more all-wheel drive or electrified hybrid choices than anyone else, like the family-size Highlander and the bigger, more powerful Grand Highlander. Now through September 30th, get a new 25 Highlander or Grand Highlander with 4.75 APR financing. Or you can get 5.75 APR financing on hybrid models with approved credit through TFS. Plus, you get 2 years no-cost maintenance. For complete details, go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, to tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule, with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels. I'm Skip Mossick. Saturday, Ohio State held Ohio to 0-1 scoring on trips inside the 20. This defensive summary is brought to you by Anduril, whose mission is to transform U.S. military capabilities through advanced technology. Anduril, an official sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Buckeye Roundtable Insiders.
Joined for a few minutes now by longtime Ohio State reporter Bill Landis. You can catch him now on Substack. And Bill, many focusing on Ohio State's red zone efficiency. Just a one-game deal, in your opinion, or is this something to keep an eye on moving forward?
I think it's something to keep an eye on. I don't know that there was anything that happened in that game where I looked at necessarily as a long-term issue, but clearly the next time Ohio State's there, everyone will be focusing on whether or not they're able to finish drives the way they need to. I think part of it, honestly, is if you really think about it, they only had one red zone trip against Texas. They ran the ball every time they were down there with 6 plays. And, they got there against Grambling State, but I don't really know what you learned from that because of how mismatched Grambling State was. So this was really kind of Julian Sayin's first time to figure out how to throw the ball down in the red zone and everything that's required in it. And you would hope that, from those experiences, some good, some bad, that he learns from them and he's better the next time Ohio State has to do it.
I saw on X that you're writing an article on Arvell Reese and kind of previewing him against Washington, but, what he did against Ohio, career high tackles, 2 passes defended there, and, excellent job spying a mobile quarterback, and that's going to be something they're going to have to worry about with Washington.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge deal. DeMond Williams Jr., the quarterback at Washington, is one of the more elusive guys in the country, and I just thought Arvell was so impressive doing that against Ohio. He did it a little bit against Texas, too, and Arch Manning, though Arch didn't run a ton in that game. But there was one play in particular against Ohio where Arvell was in the middle of the field. The quarterback kind of spun out and got out to his left, and the closing speed that Arvell showed in chasing that guy down and knocking the ball away was pretty darn impressive. So he'll be important in every game Ohio State plays, but especially against a mobile quarterback. He's kind of Ohio State's secret weapon, I think.
Bill, sticking with defense, we've seen the plays that Caleb Downs makes, but can you kind of get in a sense, in an overall standpoint, the influence he has even in plays that he doesn't make, just what the defense is doing in general?
Yeah, well, I think for the opposing offense, he's someone you always have to know where he is. And I think even time spent, kind of wondering about that, figuring that out, is time spent, maybe not learning your plays and executing as well as you might like to. So he has a factor in that way. But he's also just so smart in terms of getting his own teammates lined up in the right positions. If you ever get a chance, I tell listen to everybody, if you can ever look at the all-22 view, and I know you guys get to see that from the radio booth, like just watching him pre-snap and all the things that he's doing, the way he moves around, the way he directs guys, is just really impressive. So he is the epitome of what people mean when they say a quarterback on the defense.
Bill, talk about Ohio State's offensive line. You know, obviously we got the 5 starters. Tegra's been there at right guard a lot. We saw him have some penalty issues, and they brought in Ethan Oniawa. Do you think there'll be some more of that in the future with this offensive line?
I'm curious about that. I think that, both tackle spots, left guard and center, seem pretty secure. And I think for the most part, those guys have played pretty well this year so far. The right guard spot is the one that has been a little up and down, and I would say that both Tegra and Ethan have had some up and down moments. But, Ethan Onion was a really experienced guy. He's got 30-something starts at tackle in his career, and it seems like maybe there's been a little bit of a process for him to get his feet under him here at Ohio State, and that's not surprising considering he was jumping up from Rice. But he's been in some game action now. He's obviously been practicing with the Buckeyes for a while, and now there's this week off, I think, for him to continue to get more comfortable. So I'm not saying that Tegra should be watching out that someone's going to come take his job, but I think that's a competition to monitor throughout the rest of the season.
Bill, we've talked a lot about the multiple tight ends and their usage for these first 3 games. Can you see that continue to be a factor as the competition ramps up?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a major part of the offense. I think they had multiple tight ends on the field for like half their snaps against Ohio. It was even higher than that against Texas. And those guys are so versatile, right? Like you think about putting Max Clare out there with a multiple tight end formation. Well, he's kind of like a receiver. So it's like you are multiple tight end, but you're really not. And it just gives Ohio State a lot of options. And I think as the games continue to get more physical and the competition ratchets up, you will continue to see Ohio State utilize that really deep tight end room.
And because of the depth in that tight end room, is that why we're seeing a little bit less targets towards Brandon Ennis? I know you got to feed Carnell and you got to feed, obviously, Jeremiah, the best receiver in the country. But, Brandon Ennis is, you hate to say it, but it just hasn't been targeted that much in this offense. Is that because of the growth that we've had in that tight end room?
Yeah, I think that's part of it. I think the other part is, obviously Jeremiah is the best receiver in the country. Everyone knew that coming into the season. I think Carnell might be the second best receiver in the country with the way that he's playing right now. He just makes unbelievable plays after unbelievable play, and big moments too for Ohio State. So you just have such great security blankets on both those guys. For Julian Sayin as a young quarterback, that I'm not surprised that the bulk of the targets have gone those guys' way. I don't think that'll change too much. So, yeah, we've seen the slot receiver have highly productive seasons in the past at Ohio State, and this just might be a year where maybe that doesn't happen. But Brandon Ennis will have other ways to impact the offense, and his moment will come, right? Like we know there'll be games when teams try to take away both Jeremiah and Carnell, as difficult as that might be, and when that happens, they'll need someone like Brandon to step up.
Bill, while most of our focus is what goes on with Ohio State, what are you kind of feeling about some of the other teams in the Big Ten and the teams that we all think are going to be the possible contenders?
Yeah, I think Oregon looks really good right now. Oregon's a team that kind of stumbled out of the blocks a little bit last year, and obviously they ended up not losing a regular season game, but this year they just started really fast. That offense looks good. It's not surprising, but their young quarterback, Dante Moore, he was there for a year last year, and he looks like he got that offense down pretty well and is playing well to start the year. So they've been, aside from Ohio State, probably the most impressive Big Ten team. I think people are waiting for Penn State to find that next gear, and there's a really interesting game happening in 2 weeks that when Oregon goes to Penn State. That's the nightcap after Ohio State, Washington. So that'll be a game that tells us a lot. I think Indiana, Illinois are 2 teams that'll be kind of near the top end of the Big Ten as well, and they played this weekend. So some important games coming up in the conference, I think, for us to learn a little bit more about how this is all going to shake out.
Now, right now you're writing for Substack, and you talk about the B gap, which I understand very well. That's the gap between the guard and the tackle. How'd you come up with that, and what are you going to emphasize on those articles?
Yeah, well, we just got left in a position where I was looking for a job, basically, pretty close to the football season, and that was one outlet that was available to me, was to kind of go out on my own. I'm doing it with Doug Lamourese, who's been on the beat longer than I have, so we're doing some writing there, columns, analysis, all that stuff. We have a podcast, the Bill and Doug Show, that you can find there. You can find on YouTube. So, I think the media business being what it is, it's a little ruthless at times, but I think we ended up in a pretty good spot.
Last week, defending the B gap, you had Caden McDonald in there getting a lot of playing time. We saw Tywan Malone get his first start ahead of Edric Houston, which is a little bit surprising with everything that we talked about in the preseason about Edric Houston. And then, Will Smith. Are those the 4 defensive tackles that they can kind of count on right now, along with Jarquez Carter?
Yeah, I think those are the main 4, and Jarquez feels like he's going to kind of keep knocking on that door and try to work his way into that rotation. I think Caden McDonald's played great. I think Will Smith has actually been a little bit of a revelation. He's played really well kind of in his first full-time role. And we'll have to see how it shakes out with Tyrone Malone and Edric Houston. Part of me wonders if Edric's, not starting and then having a little bit of a lower snap count might be trying to get him healthy. He was banged up a little bit in camp, and they had sort of an opportunity coming out of the Texas game to ramp down his snaps. Now with this week off, hopefully he can go out against Washington and look fresh and put his best game out there. But I do like the group. There was some concern about it, I think, coming into the season, but thus far, I think they played okay.
Bill Landis, it's been a while. Thanks for coming on. We always appreciate your time, okay?
Sure thing. Thanks, guys.
All right, check him out again on Substack. What did you say the name of it? The B-Gap. B-Gap. Check him out there on Substack. Coming up, speaking of wrapping things up, we will wrap things up. The hour has 2 hours have flown by with some chalk talk. That is next as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Now, the officials have been talking for quite some time.
All righty, let's see what they have to say.
Upon further review, there is no penalty on the play. However, we have conferred and discovered that Bob, the line judge, has saved a boatload for his kids' college using Ohio's 529 plan. It is tax-free, accepted nationwide. Bob recommends we all go to collegeadvantage.com. First down.
Well, that's not entirely unexpected.
Classic Bob.
Hey, Buckeye fans. Are you thinking of consolidating your debt with a home equity loan? Union Home Mortgage wants you to know the average homeowner has over $200,000 of home equity available, and they can help you get access to your money quickly and easily. Go to UHM.com to get your cash estimate today. You'll score financial freedom with Union Home Mortgage, the official home lending sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
Hey, Ohio State fans! Next time that snack craving hits, Burger King has you covered with the O-Fry-O bundle. You get a medium fry, 8-piece chicken fries, 8-piece mozzarella fries, and an 8-piece chicken nuggets, all for just $10. It's perfect snack fuel for one, wherever and whenever you're cheering on the scarlet and gray. At BK, have it your way. You rule! Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Tax extra.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Buckeye fans, this is for you. Level up with the brand new AAA Buckeyes MVP membership. You'll receive all the benefits of AAA, such as 24/7 roadside assistance, plus chances to win tickets to Ohio State sporting events, access to exclusive MVP experiences, along with 10% off select gear at the Ohio State Team Shop. Already a AAA member? Add the Buckeyes MVP membership for free. Head to AAA.com/Buckeyes to upgrade or join the squad and put your fandom in drive.
American Electric Power is a proud sponsor of Buckeyes Care.
Hi, I'm Janelle Coleman with American Electric Power. AEP comes together with our communities to create a better future every day. Whether we serve, build, or simply share with others, we make Central Ohio brighter for our neighbors. Our collaboration with Buckeyes Care is another way we work to make the future boundless for all.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels. I'm Skip Mossick. We are proudly presented by Burger King. Visit your local BK restaurant to grab your $10 O-Fry O-Bundle. That includes a medium fry, 8-piece chicken fries, 8-piece mozzarella fries, 8-piece chicken nuggets, and a custom OSU crown, all for just $10 at your local Burger King.
Buckeye Roundtable, Chalk Talk.
All right. Obviously, we can't preview the bye, so we're going to get into some other items this week. We heard from Coach Day earlier in the show. Jim, you worked through byes in your time in the NFL. What are the biggest things that are worked on generally during a bye week?
Well, if it's towards the end of the season, it's rest. You want to make sure everybody gets rest and is ready to go. And, we were with the Redskins. Coach Gibbs, we had it like week 8 or 9 was our first bye. And like week 4, he said, okay, every game we win, from now on out, we give you a day off. Well, we won them all. So he kind of had to look at us and say, I can't lie. I don't want to give you a whole week off, though. How about we, go for a day here and a day there? And so we did like a quick Tuesday, Wednesday type thing and, gave us a, coming in Tuesday afternoon, we did a Wednesday practice and we took Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday to get some rest. But you can't do that with this team. It's a young team. So, you'll continue to work. And the coaches always say you're going to work on technique and fundamentals, make sure you're sound on that. And guys like Caleb Downs, who, by the way, now has 202 tackles through his career, he can, take a little bit of a break. David Senigmanose has played a lot of football, a lot of starts under his belt. He can, rest his leg. Jeremiah Smith, you want him fresh. But the other guys, they're first-time starters. A guy like Carnell Tate, you can give him a blow. And so it's kind of a combination of, working technique, working fundamentals, maybe put in a new scheme or two, get a little head start on the Huskies, and then, resting some of the guys that have played a lot of snaps throughout the in the program.
For many years, I mean, sound like an old man here, but I mean, there were no buys. And the season started later. You just played on through. They said, well, what are you talking about? So because of television wants to start Labor Day weekend. So now, obviously, you have 1 and or 2 buys now built into the regular season.
Well, and this all was moving the end of the regular season to the Saturday after Thanksgiving. And if you remember, when they first started talking about doing this, when Coach Tressel was the head coach, he had revealed that there was a lot of discussion amongst the coaches. Would they much rather have a bye, or would they much rather be done the Saturday before Thanksgiving? And according to what he had said, a majority of the coaches, well, let's be done before Thanksgiving. Let the players have the holiday to be at home and then get ready for bowl games. Obviously, the folks didn't listen. So, that was also before conference championship games and a longer playoff system as well. And if you remember, Skip, and I know you do, the national championship year of 2002. Do you remember when the bye was?
It was
Labor Day weekend.
Yes, it was.
Because they played the early kickoff classic game against Texas Tech off Labor Day and then ran all the way through it.
Straight through.
And I think it was a year or two after that, it was either Wisconsin or Minnesota. Their bye was the last Saturday of the season.
And wasn't it like almost 50 days they had off from the Michigan game until they played Miami in a national championship game in 2002?
Which is part of why they moved it.
Yeah, that and the
conference
the Florida game, too. It had something to do with that long layoff as well. We know the Washington game will be 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. There were some rumblings that, speaking of TV, that there may have been a late-night slot like what we're seeing this week with Michigan State at USC. That would have been rough. Sparty at least has next week off, but they kick it like 11 o'clock, whatever, this weekend.
Yeah, and I think Rutgers had that as well last year when they went out there to USC. So that's just kind of the unfortunate nature of the beast of what TV is doing and dictating some of these start times and some of the irregularities behind it, but also adding these West Coast teams. That's kind of something that has fallen in there too.
Yeah, can you imagine starting at 11 p.m. and then, having to play a game next week?
No,
I mean, you're not getting back until probably 8 in the morning or 9 in the morning, and then, turn around and you really feel bad for the coaches. I mean, players, they'll rest, they'll get some sleep on the plane. But the coaches, man, it's right back to work and getting started and getting it done. And then, if you got to travel that following week again, back to back, that would make it really tough.
First night game of the season at the Horseshoe. Were you able to get a sense of the environment this past week?
Because it was an in-state opponent, I think it was a very good environment. There certainly were a lot of Ohio Bobcat fans that were prowling around outside the stadium in the tailgate areas. And I think the nature of the game, too, Skip, it kind of kept people in the seats a little longer than what you would have expected.
Buckeyes in the NFL, hopefully a lot doing better than Joe Burrow's toe.
Yeah, Joe Burrow's toe. How about Jack Sawyer? Got his first sack for the Steelers yesterday. He had 6 tackles in that game. It's impressive to see him step up and make some plays. And the old Bosa brothers still at it. Joey Bosa had a sack, 2 forced fumbles for the Buffalo Bills now. And then Nick Bosa for the 49ers. Had 2 sacks and a forced fumble, so it kind of runs in the family of what they're doing. Zach Harrison with the Falcons. Almost, you kind of forget about Zach, but he is really coming on and playing well. C.J. Stroud's on right now with the Texans, trying to get their first win of the year. They did get their first touchdown of the year. They were the only NFL team that didn't have a touchdown, and they got a touchdown there in their opening drive, so that's good to see. But no, last week I talked to all wide receivers, and I'm sure those guys had another great week.
Bye week does not mean an off week for us. Come Saturday, what's on your agenda? I mean, you've been following Luke around like crazy the last few years. Are you staying home?
Actually, I'm going to head to the beach for a couple days.
For you.
And enjoy some sunshine and get back here on Sunday.
Big Daddy, you said the high school reunion?
50-year high school reunion. Moeller class of 75 and still alive.
Have fun, Dad. Make good decisions, as they like to say.
Stayed alive.
All right, guys, great job tonight. Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King, has been brought to you statewide by Encova Insurance, the American Dairy Association Mideast, Window Nation, and by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. For our producer tonight, Colin Behringer, and for Jim Lachey and Paul Keels, I'm Skip Mossick. As always, thanks for listening from Learfield. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.